Good afternoon, Dunkirk and Fredonia listeners, and welcome back to this Monday's edition of News at Noon. I am News Director Cascio Fonseca here today with news assistants Lee Pye and Joshua Ribakove. And in this top of the hour update, we'll bring you the latest on news and events around SUNY Fredonia's campus and community, as well as the latest in national news and weather. First up, we'll bring it to Lee for our latest campus news updates.
Happy afternoon, everyone. I'm Lee Pye, delivering your campus news. Department of Visual Arts SUNY Distinguished Service Professor Emeritus Daniel D. Reif published the final volume of his biography of his father, who was an influential educator and public servant. The first volume covered from 1899 to 1930. The second volume covered from 1930 to 1950. The final, most recent volume is covered from the 1950s onward, explaining the life of his father with a quite remarkable story. To find this volume, you can go online to the St. Lawrence University's Brewer Bookstore. The Fredonia Radio System Archives holds over 25,000 vinyls. Sometimes through delivery or organization, they break. Instead of throwing them away, FRS is holding a vinyl painting night to repurpose these old broken records. This fundraiser will be held in the Blue Lounge Tuesday, April 6th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Supplies will be included, and it's a $7 entry fee. Dr. Jeffrey Ivanone will be hosting a talk about the Firebrand Books building, which is in the process of making an LGBTQ landmark in upstate New York. This event is sponsored by Women's and Gender Studies, the Honors Program, Dr. Virginia Schaefer Howarth, and the Faculty Student Association. This event is open to the public. It will take place on Wednesday, April 5th from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. in the Kelly Family Auditorium, room 105 in the Science Center building. The English Honor Society at Sigma Tau Delta is hosting an open mic night. There's space for everyone who enjoys music, poetry, writing, or any creative medium. Books will be sold, so make sure to bring a bag for your finds. This will be at the Next Chapter Bookstore, 12 Park Place, on Wednesday, April 5th at 7 p.m. That's all from me for your campus news.
Thanks, Lee. Next up, we'll have local news. And in local news for today, Mayor Wilfred Rosas, Department of Public Works Director Randy Woodbury, and City Attorney Michael Bobsine discussed the plan to provide more water to the town of Fredonia in a City Hall interview. They also sought to overturn what they said was some misinformation about Dunkirk's water system, which was put out at Fredonia's last Board of Trustees meeting. In the plan, Dunkirk would supply 1.3 million gallons of water per day to Fredonia. It would come through 3 connections, through the Vineyard Drive pump station, the community share, and 2 Route 20 link-ups on either side of the village. The Route 20 infrastructure belongs to the North County Water District, but Dunkirk is the sole supplier of that. The hookup on the eastern end of the village is not quite complete yet, but is anticipated to be ready in April, Woodbury said. The Vineyard Drive pump station would supply 500,000 gallons of water per day. Each of the Route 20 hookups would send 400,000 gallons daily. Water delivered through the Vineyard Drive line would be sold at a cost of about $3.84 per 1,000 gallons, and the Route 20 line service would be approximately $4.96 per 1,000 gallons. The Village of Fredonia's current water rate is $4.80 per 1,000 gallons. Trustees turned down 2 proposals in 2022 to raise this rate. The plan would cost about $10 million, Rosas said. Some $5 million would be necessary to eventually build a direct Dunkirk-Fredonia trunk line with a higher capacity than a branch line. Another $5 million would go to a new pump station in the village and repairs to its Webster Road facility. Once that truck line is constructed, costs for all water to the village could be as low as $3.84 per 1,000 gallons. The mayor thinks the work could get significant grant assistance, as it is an intermunicipal project which also involves SUNY Fredonia. Rosas said the plan came after comments from Fredonia trustee James Linden made back in March, among other things. Woodbury said Dunkirk's water plant can make and sell 10 million gallons a day. Its current customers, including the North County Water District, get about 3.5 million gallons per day when demand is at a maximum. That's all for local news today. Next up, we'll bring it to Josh for our national news.
Thank you, Cascio. To those in the Fredonia-Dunkirk area, do you remember those for-hire e-scooters that littered the streets of Fredonia last summer? Well, if you plan on taking a trip to Paris anytime soon, it's likely you might not see any of those cheap and easy transports. Paris's contract with the three biggest scooter rental companies is expiring in August, and the French capital City Hall asked voters if they should renew the contract or remove the scooters. The results were a landslide, with 89% of voters in favor of ditching the contract. The vote was open to all 1.38 million residents of Paris, with only about 103,000 people voting. Many residents of Paris complain that the scooters are a traffic menace and that they litter the streets, with riders leaving the scooters wherever they please. Last year, there were 259 traffic incidents involving the microvehicles, and in 2021, 24 people died of fatal scooter accidents. In yesterday's news conference, Mayor Anne Hidalgo announced, quote, "From September 1st, there will be no more electric scooters for rent in Paris," end quote. Yesterday, a train derailed in northwestern Montana. About 25 train cars derailed near the town of Paradise along the Clark Fork River. It is believed that the cars were not carrying anything hazardous, and according to a statement from Montana Rail Link, the train cars did not release any hazardous materials into the area. The company stated, quote, "We are committed to addressing any impacts to the area as a result of this accident, prioritizing the safety of our employees and the public, and understanding the reasons for this incident," end quote. On Montana's Rail Link's website, they state that railroads are required by federal government to transport hazardous materials and that it is 16 times safer than transporting hazardous materials with trucks. WWE and the company that owns UFC are combining to form a massive sports entertainment industry worth $21.3 billion. The new business has yet to be named, but it will be led by Ari Emanuel, CEO of Endeavor Group Holdings Incorporated. Endeavor will take 51% controlling interest in the new company, with shareholders holding a 49% stake. Today, the executive chairman of WWE, Vince McMahon, stated, quote, "Together, we will be a $21+ billion live sports and entertainment powerhouse with a collective fan base of more than 1 billion people and an exciting growth opportunity," end quote. This comes just after last weekend when WWE held their 39th annual headlining event, WrestleMania, which booked a revenue of $1.3 billion. The new business will trade under the ticker symbol TKO on the New York Stock Exchange. That does it for today's national and international news.
Thanks, Josh. Finally, we'll take it back to Lee for today's weather forecast.
The Northern Chautauqua Weather Update, being brought to you by Fredonia Radio Systems.
Thanks, Cascio. The weather today is 55 degrees Fahrenheit, the high is 59 degrees, and the low is 35 degrees. It's a partly sunny, partly cloudy day, and it feels like 54 degrees. There's a 10% chance that it will rain between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. today. It will also rain in the middle of the night tonight, and tomorrow will be 57 degrees and partly cloudy. That's all from me. Enjoy the warmer temperatures.
Thank you, Lee and Josh. That'll wrap it up for this Monday's edition of News at Noon. Local news for this broadcast was prepared and read by Cascio Fonseca. National news was prepared and read by Joshua Ribakove, while campus news and weather were prepared and read by Lee Pye. Board operations for this broadcast were performed by Alex Erwin. Join us for more top-of-the-hour news updates on Wednesday. But till then, take care.